After a long winter, spring has finally come to the mountains of Vermont. The very first flowers are starting to bloom, and the songbirds are coming out every morning. Earlier in the month of April, we did get over a foot of snow, and I appreciated it knowing it was the last one of the season. Over the following weeks, it did finally start to melt. We aren't seeing buds on the trees just yet, but I know it will happen soon, and we're appreciating all of the days where we can be outside without a heavy coat and gloves on. I'm so grateful for the few flowers that are alive. One of my favorite things about the springtime is that those first few flowers that I see in the spring really do feel like a gift from the earth for surviving the cold of winter. So in this last week, we have been boiling a lot of maple syrup. We have tried a couple different methods. First, we started off just trying to do it inside on the stove, and that made our house super humid and got a sap all over the place. Really sticky situation. So after that, we tried doing it on our grill outside using a little propane tank, and that worked pretty well. But then we ended up running out of propane. So the next day we tried it on our little smoker that we have outside using wood, and that worked pretty well too. But the difficulty with that is that the door to actually add the wood in the smoker is quite small. So we had to fill it pretty often and could only fit pretty small pieces of wood in there. So today we have tried our next iteration, and we have created a little fireplace out of some bricks that we just had laying around, and created a full fire, put a grate from our smoker above it, and then just have our huge pot with the sap sitting right on top of it. So this has definitely been the best method so far. We only have to load it up every couple hours because we can actually put full pieces of wood in it, and it's going pretty well so far. I'll show you guys a clip of the amount of syrup that we've gotten so far, and we're really impressed with the yield that we've gotten from our maple syrup operations so far this year. I mentioned this in our last video, but last year we did try making maple syrup, but we didn't really use the best method, so we only got a really small amount. And yeah, this year I have just been so pleased with how we've been able to make maple syrup. And honestly, the month of March doesn't typically have a lot going on. This part of the country where it's like still pretty cold, you might get little signs of spring, but it's really still like winter. It's honestly, I'm just so excited for every March to come, because we're definitely going to be making maple syrup every single year. And I just think it's so wonderful to have something so fun and rewarding to look forward to in the month of March, where there isn't really that much to be excited about. Okay, so I made a shirt. I've been wanting to try sewing for a really long time, and I decided to finally just find a pattern online and give it a shot. It was definitely a pretty big learning experience. I'm pretty pleased with the result, but there was definitely a lot of mistakes that I made and just a really big learning experience. So I'm really excited to try out other pieces. I already have a bunch of pieces in mind that I want to try to make. So I actually had some black fabric, so I decided to try the same pattern for the shirt that I made, but in black. and I actually like the black one a lot better, and it just turned out a lot better since it wasn't my first piece. After the spring snowstorm, we were able to take our helicopter flying lessons, which was such a beautiful and surreal experience to be able to see all the fresh snow on the trees from above. So a couple of months ago, I saw a reel on Instagram that showed somebody using paper towel rolls and toilet paper rolls to make seed starters out of. So ever since I saw that, I've been saving my toilet paper and paper towel rolls for this purpose. And this week I started planting my seeds that want to be planted indoors in April. I dug up a bunch of dirt from the yard outside and just have it in a tote here, and just filling up the little starter packets as I'm planting the seeds. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope that you are all having a really great start to your springtime, and we'll see you on the next one.